Why don't you kick
Yes,
us
on
off today,
time.
Rose? On time and
Hello.
tech working.
It is working. The stars are aligning.
Why don't you kick us off today, Rhodes?
All right. Well, welcome. I see Diana here. I'm not really sure if there are other people in the space, but three people are here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna get going. We're here at End Alchemy, and yesterday, Heather, your meditation,
Oh,
visualization. I'm still seeing the
cute.
gold, the shimmer around all of us, right? I'm
I
feeling
love
it.
that.
I really, yeah. I'm kind of curious, like after you led the visualization, like kind of what was showing up for you as you led it? Yeah.
It's interesting because I usually do like kind of a bullet pointed list when I'm going to do a meditation and then just sort of let it download and flow. Um, and I'm always I don't always remember everything that I said. B, so it's recordings are nice. And then B, I'm always kind of like, damn, I crushed that. Like that was good. It feels good because it feels good to me. And by following my intuition on it, and so the whole golden thing that was, it just happened. But I love to envision myself a light and a glow. And for years, I used to do 5 minutes a day abundance visualization.
Mm,
And I wouldn't prep anything for myself. I would just lay down and set
mm.
the timer for 5 minutes. And inevitably, it would end with golden like waves flying out of my fingers and I would be spinning.
Whoa. Wow. It's the
Right.
Midas
So
touch. Yeah.
this sort of expansive, all of this feel abundance. So it felt good, it felt great because I could see you. I could see your what we call in NLP your physical acuity. Like I watched your facial features relax and your shoulders relax and then hearing what you shared after. So it was really fun. I'm glad people liked it. I got a couple comments that folks watched the replay. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt really good to receive it. So thank you for that gift. And yeah, I mean, if folks are in the space and you were here yesterday for that visualization, if there's any kind of feedback you have or experiences you'd like to offer up, no pressure, and it's always helpful for us. So
Yes.
yes, so go for it. Yay! And Jen, hey, welcome. It's great to see Jen T. Grace in the space, and
That's
Tamar.
great.
I'm seeing some more
For
people
whatever
joining.
reason, the tech
Yeah.
is fascinating because for whatever reason, it's not showing me comments. It's not showing me who's in the room. It just shows me you and me. So I
Wow.
guess
Okay.
I'm not here to necessarily know or engage today. We're just going to let
Yeah,
that be fine.
it is all
But hi,
good.
Jen. So you can call people out. Rhodes, let's just really quickly reintroduce ourselves for those who
Totally.
might be new or catching the replay. So, folks, I'm Heather Vickery. I'm a transformation coach. I help people go from where they are to where they want to be by learning to deeply and completely know, like, and trust themselves and then unwire all the bullshit that society has put on them so that they can be successful with ease. And I'm an author, podcaster, um, an avid reader, a mom of four. Yeah.
I love your
Birds.
introductions. I'm just okay. So that's so good. So welcome, Heather. It's great to be here in the space with you. I'm Rhodes Perry. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm joining you from Portland, Oregon, and it is definitely a very Portland day. I'm a belonging strategist. I help leaders build spaces of belonging. We try to upend the epidemic of exclusion. I'm also an author in the process of writing a book. Jen, I know you're in the space. Thank you for your support. uh,
That's what's behind Rhodes, by the way. I don't
oh,
mean to
that
cut
is.
off your introduction. That's how he's laying out his book, and I am so fascinated by it completely.
Yes, there it is. State secrets. So it's almost done, or at least the first draft. And the journey's about to begin. But
Yeah.
yeah. And so much of what is behind me is lifting up the power of somatics. And
Mm.
so there's a lot of practice in the book, and the idea is to facilitate real transformation using the tissues of your body as the site of transformation. So it's not just kind of like thinking about it, right? It is truly feeling into like where you want to go, who you want to become. And my hope is that it facilitates the kind of transformation that you're looking for in your own life. And that's what this whole event is about, is your end alchemy. It's kind of
Yeah.
like taking stock of where we've been, what we've been carrying throughout the past 11 months, now going into the last month. And like in the visualization that Heather led yesterday, really getting clear, like, what are we leaving behind? What are we going to carry forward? And also, what are we going to welcome in to our lives? And
Mm.
so, yeah, so I feel like the book kind of aligns with what we're doing
Uh,
today, right?
I cannot wait for the book. Are you going to do, I don't, I'm putting you on the spot. Are you going to do an audiobook?
I am. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay.
that's my
Because I
goal.
want to
Yeah.
hear you. You're going to read it yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I want to like hear your voice and feel that resonance and go through. I'm so excited. Plus, I need a signed copy, but I'm excited to
Yes.
listen to it because I think that that full bodied experience is
Mhm.
undeniable. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you. Yeah, there'll be like a book website. So if you buy the book, there'll also be videos to guide you through the practices. So like what we're going to do today, we're going to be doing a centering practice. There will be practices like that throughout to keep you on path, right? Because part of it is we do have to practice what we want to be, who we want to be, and that takes work sometimes. So my hope is that's just
Does.
some extra motivation to keep you inspired. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
So, yes, today, in just a little bit, you're going to guide us through a centering practice, a somatic centering practice. But I think uh, we probably have some folks here. We have some folks here who I'm sure know exactly what we mean when we say somatic, but maybe some folks who don't. So, I was hoping you could maybe go over a little bit of that methodology and what that means and why it matters. And it's interesting. So I work with all kinds of conscious leaders. You work with a lot of really corporates. And and I do on occasion too. And we're bringing in these things that are so non-traditionally business. Um, and I'd love to have you share from your perspective why that matters so much and
Mhm.
why understanding matters so much.
Totally, totally. Well, why it matters, I'll start with that first. It's like, how many of y'all have ever been in a meeting and whoever's leading the meeting is saying a lot of words and you're kind of watching their nonverbals, their body, and there's just complete misalignment, right? So, and it gets in the way of feeling a sense of trust, maybe feeling a sense of safety, which kind of compromises your team's cohesion, right? So,
So
somatics is a
it
way.
is what you're saying though, like you hear people talking, but physically in your body you feel like that's not it's not landing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I used to live in DC, so that's like a classic place where you're like hearing a lot of talking heads saying a lot of things, and it's like, my
It doesn't
BS
feel
meter is
good.
going off, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the power of somatic. So the word itself, right? It's kind of like, oh, I've heard of it. It's used a lot, but I have no idea what it means. So it comes from a Greek root which means soma, and soma is it's some people say, "Oh, it's the body," right? And sure, the body is the domain of
In the
all that we
body.
are, right?
Yeah.
So the domain of all that we are. So of course, like our very, very smart brains, yay, we think, therefore we are, kind of. And it's also our moods, our emotions, our
Ah.
actions. Like when you think about where you take physical action, it's usually kind of from just beneath your navel, right? As you move throughout the
Mm.
world. It's also the way that you coordinate with others, right? So that's your soma. And it's almost like if you could take your arms out. I wish this camera could expand a little bit, but just imagine like my arms are as wide as I can be. And it's just this whole 360. This is your domain, right? So, of course, in a world that respects consent, you can invite people into that domain if you want. And you can also be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, this is like energetic boundaries. So,
My dance space, that's your dance space.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Dirty dancing. Yeah. So it's really the reason why I got into it on a personal level is I was kind of this shape and still I'm unlearning the shape of just driving and doing until
Mm.
I completely burnt out and I needed help. And so somatics was it was a form of medicine for me that really helped me notice and gain awareness of how I how I move throughout the world, right? And I started to notice some things where I'm like, huh, okay. Um, so in the methodology that I learned in somatics, it's really simple. It's really simple and it's not, right? So if you imagine, is it a Venn diagram, like three concentrics, like three of those circles kind of layered on top of each other? There's awareness, somatic awareness, right? There's somatic practices, and then there's a somatic opening. And so the idea is this is like an arc of transformation. So a practice that we'll do today is centering, and I'll describe what that is in just a bit. That's a somatic practice that allows us to have awareness of how we are in our bodies. Are we even in our bodies, right? Like you're going to start to kind of like notice where you are, when you might pop out, when you might pop back in. Um,
Yeah.
and so you have these practices, you gain awareness, and over time, right? There's no guarantee, but if you stick with these practices, you can then have an opening. And the opening is for more choice, right? So when you show up in your workday or your life, your family, whatever, and pressures coming at you, the usual stuff, and then all of these new pressures in the world that we're in, what happens? Where do you go? Do you go into a reactive state? And when you're in that reactive state, what do you typically do? Do you yell? Do you withdraw? Like, what is your thing? And with the somatic opening, as you gain more awareness, in those moments when you get grabbed by life, right? You have a plan for the day and it goes off track. You want to recenter, you want to find yourself in that moment. You can still have all the feelings that you feel. And rather than doing that reactive thing that you always do, you can just kind of pause and take stock. It's like, do I want to do that thing? Or what
I
are my
like
other
fix it.
options? And it allows you to
Yes.
scan for your other options. So it's really sounds simple, right? And it's profound. It's a really,
Yeah.
I'm still kind of pulling back the layers on myself. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I examined my life. There's more.
I love that about you because that's how I have gotten into all of the practices that I am now certified in and coach on is the same
Mhm.
thing as like I had curiosity for myself on human design, NLP, subconscious reprogramming, like even coaching. I wanted to know more for me, for my growth and my expansion. And then I was like, which if you understand human design, my 1-3 profile line, this is it. Exactly. They're like, oh, I must share this with everybody. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but I really honor that in you. And you said something that just struck me. It made me smile so hard. You said, uh, how do I want to be? Which
Mm.
the first thing that triggers is that's bad grammar. And then you're like, fuck that.
Yes.
That's the patriarchy. And
Mhm.
but it is,
Yeah.
it is that. How do you want to be? How do you want to exist in yourself, in your space, in the world? Like, what does that feel like? And one of the examples I think of, are you in your body? Are you not? How often do you drive somewhere and you have absolutely no recollection of how you got there because you do it so routinely? You're really not in your body. You're just running on, past experiences. And you talk about that awareness piece and the choice of, do I want to behave that way again? And maybe you do, or
Mhm.
or maybe you won't don't because you're looking at options. And I parlay that into we telling ourselves the truth, and what is the truth, and
Mhm.
okay, maybe that's true, but is it the only thing that could be true? What if something else could be true, right? And we start to, just what you said,
Yeah.
but possibility and
Mhm.
and shift and see more, and all of that hinges on, and then we talked about this yesterday, it all hinges on awareness. It all hinges on
Mhm.
you being involved, like
Yeah.
being engaged with yourself. And they are simple practices, but simple doesn't always mean easy.
Mhm. Exactly.
And I'm super, super excited for your centering practice, but I do want to share. So I'm still in the learning somatics for myself phase, but I am
Mhm.
working on planning on a certification. And I'm actually going to be bringing some somatic movement into the Costa Rica retreat in January,
Yeah.
which we have about 5 spots left. If anybody wants to come hang out in
Go,
Costa
go.
Rica,
Do
we're
it.
going to do opening with somatic movement, which is something I have been doing for a couple of reasons. I started doing it for lymphatic drainage, which is so interesting. That's
Yeah.
something that feels so woo woo. I'm actually writing an article right now on 5 things that sound woo but are actually science.
Yes.
And there are more than 5. There'll probably
Mhm.
be a follow up, list. Um, I started doing it for lymphatic drainage, and then I could feel it, but then it opens up your chi. Like it's all sorts of other things that happen. And in like 7 minutes a day, you can absolutely center and ground and feel yourself. And I'm actually curious, what, if any, practices like that do you have as well? So
Mhm.
I think what you're going to do is more of a, I think, this is what I am anticipating. a still somatic awareness, but there is also some really gentle somatic movement that
Mm.
connects you with your body and your awareness that doesn't strain you physically. It's really hard to talk yourself out of doing it because it's simple and actually feels good. I noticed that I wake up, I'm going to be 51 next week. I wake up and my back is so tight. And then when I do just my 5 to 7 minutes worth of somatic movement, my body doesn't ache all day.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
yeah. Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, somatic movement, right? I mean, it's with intention, right? Like I think sometimes people think
Yeah.
about or feel about moving meditations, right? Things like that, like anything with intention. And sometimes, like in the tradition that I was trained in, we're moving throughout like a keto dojo, right? And it's like with intention, like being, after we center, which we'll do in just a second or two, is
Can't wait.
moving with like being in the body and getting a couple of reps, just kind of going where your body wants to go without purpose. It's like the
Mm,
opposite of what I was raised with my dad, like move with a purpose. It's like, okay, right? It's just like,
yeah.
where does your body feel curious about moving? Like what direction? Like you're feeling into that. You're also moving sometimes like move as if you're driving on autopilot. Like, what does that move look like? Like just kind of like you're not in your body and like getting familiar with what that feels like. And again, it's subtle, right? But like that movement's really important. Um, yeah. So there was something else that you had said.
Oh, I just
Um,
wanted to know if you had any daily routines
Oh, yeah, yeah.
with
Daily
somatic movement.
routines, it's mostly a sit practice for me when I wake up, but I also do what we're about to do. Which is we center in four directions. And so I just want to feel like, what am I noticing in my body? Am I kind of numb? Like, where am I numb? Where am I holding? Where might I feel lighter? Is there a color or
Mm,
shape that describes like what I'm feeling, like that kind of stuff? And it's just a
yeah,
check-in, just a check-in.
I love
Um,
that.
And sometimes I do like for 60 seconds, just like five senses. Like what am I seeing in my room? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I touching? What am I feeling? And
Mm,
just to be like, oh right, I'm a human. I have these superpowers called senses. I should probably use more of them than just my eyes.
I
But
like that. Yeah. And I love
yeah.
this for the one thing that I typically do almost every morning. I am admittedly not a routine oriented person. I'm a rule breaker, and routines really piss me off. Except I like my structure. So here's where that balance. I like my structure, and then I want to pick and choose what I do inside the structure. I like
Mhm.
a general flow in my day, but I don't want to have to do the exact same thing at the exact same time every day. And some people love that, and I can actually see when I look at somebody's human design chart if they're into that, if they're not. But the one thing that I try to do when I first wake up in the morning, and again, it serves multiple purposes. It connects me with my body. It does lymphatic drainage. Is I will just start to do a really gentle face massage, and so that from the top you want to go down towards your ear, under your eye, towards your ear, and then you go down. So this helps with drainage, but it also connects you with your body. And as I'm doing it, I say to myself, either out loud or in my mind, it depends on if I have a sleeping partner next to me or not. I say, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. And that's it. That's all I say. And I do that for maybe a minute and a half every morning. And then I'm like, okay, let's take this on. Let's do this.
That's so powerful. And what you're doing, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of different body work modalities. There is somatic body work, and we look at armoring bands. So there's different armoring bands that we have, like our eyes, our jaw, around our throat. It's almost like kind of chakra based, but it's where
Yeah.
we tend to hold tension, where we tend to hold things that we may not even know, right? So if we did a body scan, if the group were to look at my face, you might see holding, you might notice things about me that I might not notice, right? And so,
Wow.
um, but these placements of hands on your face, right, to just kind of iron out your brow, right, to
Mm.
kind of iron out the mushy parts on your cheek, or
And
to
really gently, right? It's really gentle touch. Which
yeah,
people think they have to do something really rough or aggressive for it to work. And this is really gentle touch.
yes, very gentle touch, and it's almost as if in somatics you're almost giving your muscles a break. by holding, by meeting. If there is tension, you're adding just a little bit of tension. And it's almost like if you have a clenched fist, you're just kind of like, you're kind of like coaxing it to just kind of soften. So yeah. What do you say? Do you want to get into? I feel like
Yeah,
this is like a
ready.
really nice
I'm
segue. Okay.
I'm super ready. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And it looks like Heather, it looks like your internet might be a little unstable, but can you hear me okay?
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
I'm sorry if it's sticky. I can hear you and I can see you. So I'm not sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. You're just in a freeze, but you're kind of like this, but
Oh.
that's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So I mean, the nice thing about this is like if you can see me, that's great. If you can hear me, you can still do this practice. So the idea of centering, first of all, is that it helps us to be grounded, present, and aware, right? So this is particularly helpful in all times of day, really. But you know, like you're maybe maybe midday today, lots of pressure is coming your way and you might be kind of off center, right? Like something might grab you that might upset you. It could be the news, it could
Mm.
be a conversation with your partner. There's a zillion things, right? So when you're feeling that kind of grab, this practice is really great to be like, hang on, let me come back to my center before I do anything, before I say that thing that I want to say, and then I'm gonna have to repair. You know, it's like this is a good practice to avoid having to do some of those things. And in the center, you're going to be able to have more choice. So kind of like what you were saying, Heather, where it's like, I like structure, but I want choice. So centering is
Hmm.
almost kind of like you're getting some structure back to being pulled away from your plan for the day. And okay, like what are we gonna do once we're operating from a place of center? So go ahead, like if you're viewing, maybe just check in. Like if there's something on your mind, like a current condition or something that's just like, you know, I'm thinking about this, or if there's anything that you want to name that you're bringing into the space, you're welcome to do that in the chat here. And you don't have to just kind of, you know, like I read the news this morning, so there's some stuff on my mind that I'm kind of like just with. It's with me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just here. It's in the space. And we'll return and just kind of do a mood check at the end. So just kind of like notice where you're at right now. You can do this practice either standing, I'm standing, or you could be seated, you know, so whatever feels comfortable to you. Most importantly, centering's not like a meditation. You know, when pressure's coming at us, usually our eyes are open. So what I invite you to do is, if it's available to you, just a nice soft gaze, right? And maybe, you know, you don't necessarily, if it's helpful, you can look at me, but I also invite you to maybe look at something pleasant. Like I have a window behind my computer here, so it's like, oh, it's nice to look at the trees, right? So if there's something pleasant, maybe a piece of art, a photo of someone you love, you know, just soft gaze there. And as you do, just kind of like notice from your hips down to your feet. And again, make sure your feet are all of your soles are touching the floor.
Mm.
Um, legs hip width distance apart. And I like to put my hands on my hips and just kind of invite like a breath through the heart. And then go ahead and send that breath down through your legs, out through the soles of your feet, right? And just notice, right? You can continue breathing in this way if it's nice, right? Notice how much of your legs you can feel. Notice how much of your legs you can feel. So, you know, I can feel that my legs were locked just a second ago, right? So kind of just notice, is there any tension, any holding? And just invite, again, a nice breath in through the heart. And go ahead and send that breath down through your legs and out through your feet. And again, breath in through the heart. And this time, as you breathe out down through your feet, just send something out that no longer serves you. Yeah. Yeah. And again, a nice breath in through the heart and just a nice audible, just let that out. Yeah. Now, conversely, like on your next breath in, draw up from the earth through your feet. A nice nourishing breath all the way up to the top of your head. Yeah. And then go ahead on your own pace. Just go ahead and breathe that back out down through your feet. Yeah. Nice audible breath if that feels good. And go ahead and draw a resource from the earth, draw up a nice breath and draw something into your body that will invite more ease, peace, joy, whatever that is for you. And go ahead and send that back down through your feet. And if you'd like, you can continue breathing in that way. And I invite you, just notice what's coming alive in the length of your body, right? So when I say that, think of like your longest bones. Feel into that. Feel into your femurs, right? Feel into your tibia. Anatomy is not my forte, but just feel into those long bones, whichever ones come to mind for you. And notice that length. See if you can root in your feet and at the same time, just imagine like a little string at the top of your head, gently tugging upwards towards the sky, and feel a few more millimeters between your vertebrae. And really, like, if you want to, you can roll your shoulders back maybe a few times and notice the length of your body. Now, this is the first direction that we center in. So when we center in our length, this is our dignity, right? So feel for dignity in your body. Where might dignity live in your body? How do you wear dignity, right? And just feel for it. Just feel into that. Feel into the word dignity. Again, nice breath in through the heart and a breath out through your feet. Yeah. Yeah. Feel into that length and just notice. Notice your legs. If you're standing, notice if there's any kind of tension or holding. Maybe notice your torso, right? Can you feel both the front of your torso and the back of it? And just notice. From here, we also center in our width, right? So I like to think of my heart unfurling, right? So it's almost kind of like I'm just shining bright, right? So imagine like a light shining out through your heart. And I invite you, right? Like go ahead and expand both of your right arm and your left arm to the right side, the left side. I like to sway a little bit just to, if you have some movement you want to get out, like there's no right or wrong way here. This is like exactly how your body wants to be in this space. And I love it, right? So if you're someone that, maybe like throughout your day, you don't take up a lot of space, just like go ahead and take up as much space as you want to, right? And feel into that. What is that like? What is that like? You're ironing out your sides. You're trying to get as wide as possible, kind of like feel into that. Feel into this heart space and go ahead and send a breath in through your heart. And like Heather was talking about in the beginning, like shoot that breath out through your fingertips like it's gold, just shoot it out, and feel that connection to yourself. Feel this sense of belonging, right? Within your body. Where does that live? Can you locate it? Feel for belonging. And also, as you're noticing the width of your body, notice like where the boundaries of your skin meet the air around you and feel that connection to your space. And as you locate that sense of belonging in your body, feel it around you, feel the space around you. Can you feel for that in the space? Can you feel connected to it? Just notice here. And again, like if your arms are out, you can drop them to your side and you just kind of notice that width. The third place where we center is in our depth, right? So we are 360, right? So it's almost like if you want to turn around, just kind of feel for both the back of your body, where you are in this moment, and what's ahead. So I almost like thinking like I'm surfing. So all that's behind me is all of that amazing lived experience. All that's ahead of me might be what I'm thinking about in 2026. And right here is where I can feel in this present moment. So in this depth, right, go ahead and take a breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine shading the back of your back with the breath going down through your body. So it's almost like just charcoal being shaded in your back. And same way, as you breathe up, just imagine that breath is kind of coloring in the back of your body. So as you feel for this, what can you notice of what's behind you? Maybe you can notice the fabric of clothing if you have that on your shoulder blades, just kind of feel for maybe the touch of cotton on your shoulders, right? Maybe feel like into the base of your spine, backs of thighs. backs of heels, right? And go ahead and send some gratitude to these places in our body that maybe we don't notice or appreciate as much, and see what's coming alive for you. What I like about centering in the back of the body is this feeling for maybe an ancestor, maybe your younger self, like a right hand, left hand on your shoulder blades. So even if you were to kind of lean back, those hands have you and they're bringing you right back to Goldilocks position, whatever feels right for you, and feel into those hands on your back. Maybe take a nice breath in and a long breath out. Yeah. Yeah. If it's your younger self, right? Maybe send some gratitude for all that they've done, all of that hard work to bring you into this present moment. If it's an ancestor, some gratitude for all that they did to pay it forward for you to be here today. Feel into that. And from there, let's just go right into the center of our body, right? I like to put my hands on my heart just to send some appreciation to all those internal organs without even asking, right? They're keeping us alive right now. They're working really hard. So some gratitude to your heart, gratitude to maybe your stomach, your intestines, whatever comes to mind, whatever you're noticing, the heartbeat, stomach gurgle, and feel for this present moment. Feel for what's here, pressure, temperature, sensation. Notice what's coming alive in the body. Hmm. And then just ahead of us, right? Maybe like a hand forward. It's just kind of feeling for the next moment today, right? The next week, the next year, right? Like this is looking forward, right? We're feeling into that future self. And just know, right? None of us know what that future is, right? But feel the trust in our bodies, feeling for that wisdom in the tissues just to guide us on what that next move might be. Like, where does that live in your body? Can you feel for it? Do you notice anything coming online? And it's okay if you don't, right? Just kind of feel for what's there. And the very last place that we center is right below our navel. So this is literally our body's center, right? So maybe 2 fingers beneath the navel. And I like to put both hands there on my belly. And go ahead and take a nice breath in and feel for how your body wants to respond to this question, right? So feel for what matters most to you in this moment right now. Feel for maybe a mood or an emotion, right? But just notice the feelings that come up, right? So again, maybe a nice breath in through the heart, a nice breath out through your belly. And again, feel for the question, what matters most to you right now? Yes, yawns are awesome. That is a good sign the body is in a relaxed state. So yeah, if you're yawning, if you're feeling a little tired, right? The centering is working. The centering is working. Um, I like to close out the practice just briefly, right? Kind of I'm taking both hands and I'm extending them down towards the ground and just some gratitude, right? Some gratitude that you have for the earth that you are maybe standing on or sitting on, all of the clean water, the food, anything that comes to mind, right? That you can feel for. Gratitude to the earth. I like to extend the arms above me, sending gratitude to the stars, the clouds, the rain, the sunshine, the mystery of it all. Anything else that you're grateful for when you look up. And then extending hands forward to the screen, to you all, to Heather, for being here in this moment. Thank you so much for being here. Any gratitude you'd like to just kind of say silently to yourself or out loud? And then last place is hands on heart. Gratitude to you. Gratitude to you for giving yourself this time in this space to find your ground, to center. Yeah. Yeah. And
Mm,
so,
beautiful.
yeah, feel for that. Feel for what's coming alive. And I invite you, like this, I totally invite you when you're ready, feel for like two emotions that might be popping up for you.
Mm,
Um, yeah. And Heather, whenever you're ready, maybe
yeah,
you can shout them out.
definitely gratitude. I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for the space, the, the silence, and the noise, right? Like hearing my inner self, but feeling silent with the world. At one point, my dogs were barking and it just made me smile. It didn't make me feel disturbed. It just was like, oh, they're doing that. Just an awareness. Um, and I feel very peaceful. Uh,
Mm,
I also feel, what is the word I want to use? Somewhere in between relaxed and confident. And somehow for me, right in this moment, those things are feeling like the same, relaxed and
mm,
confident. And I think that's something that as a human, I've been working towards for a long time, feeling confident in the safety of being relaxed and not needing to push and pressure, but allowing it all to be easy.
yeah. 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 I love that. I love that this idea, well, you said relaxed and confident. And then I was thinking relaxed confidence, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think that aligns with what we were talking about before when you were talking about your ease methodology, where I'm like, that, right? Like
Yeah.
I think for so many of us in our work days, that's where I'm about to go. I'm on the West Coast. So I'm like, oh, I have this whole
Yeah.
day ahead of me, right? And I'm like, how can I move into that with relaxed confidence? I like that. I really
I
like
like
that.
that too. Word of the day. We're
Yeah.
hyphenating it. Relax hyphen confidence.
Yes. It's
Take it.
yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And for folks, yeah, Becky, thank you for saying that. Thank you for this beautiful gift. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving that centering practice a try. And just kind of, reflect on what this centered place makes possible, right? So again, like we were thinking about maybe current conditions before we centered. Now we've centered, and this is spacious. You could do this in like a minute, right? But this
Yeah.
was a very spacious gift. So from this place, what does that make possible for you, right? Like, and if you are stuck in a grab in some way and you're thinking about those old ways of reacting, those aren't necessarily bad. They're part of you. And when we think about our younger self having hands on our backs, like those were skills that kept us alive, right? So we don't want to shame them or blame them. They're part of us and we could do them again. We probably will. And right, with centering, we now have more options of like, do I really want to do that right now? I mean, I could, but
Right.
I
That
could be silent or yeah.
if I'm interrupting you,
Mm,
my internet connection does suck apparently. But if I'm interrupting you, I'm sorry. But
no, no. Yeah.
I I love that. Do I really want to do that right now? Do I really want to be that right now? Do I really want to believe that right now? You know, that is such a powerful pause.
Mhm, mhm,
It's an empowering decision. And folks,
mhm.
if you don't take anything else away from this week, if you take away this pause to ask yourself intentional questions before you do the next thing, it will change your life. And I guarantee you that. Like it's not hyperbole. It will change your
Mhm.
life.
Yes. Uh, yes. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a practice and it's a practice. I'm writing about it. I'm trying to do it every day. And, I stumble, I have dips, right? We all do, right? And it's just showing up again. Life will always, life will often, I don't want to be definitive. Life will often throw us curveballs, right? And so
Yeah.
there will be plenty more opportunities to practice this. And spaces like these are great, when you have a community of people that just, okay, I want to try some new things that I'm learning, or I would like to share some of these things. And um, just kind of just
Yeah.
slow down, to pause, to orient and discern, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So I don't see like moods or anything
Yeah.
like that, but I will share where I'm at right now. I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for you, Heather, and for everyone in the space. And
Discern. And I was thinking
Relax.
about
Yeah.
us and this session this morning because when we do that, when we pause and we discern and we think about the opportunities, we sometimes make choices that perhaps will surprise us. And we live in this world where everything has to be for some value. Is that the word I want to use? But we intentionally decided to do this week. We aren't collecting email addresses. You don't have to register. We don't have any way to capture whether or not you've been here. We're not trying to sell you anything, right? Like, we wanted to do it because we wanted to work together. We thought we could have some fun doing this together. And we thought this could be a nice gift and the right people will show up. And that comes when you pause and you are discerning. And it wasn't to earn or to make or to do or to be. It was just to exist and share with one another and collectively. And that feels so delicious to me.
Yes. Yes. Same, same. And I think like this time of year too, we were talking about this yesterday. It's a complex time of year, right? There's for some of us there's a lot of highs, there's a lot of reconnection, being with people we love. And sometimes at the same time, it can be the inverse of that, right? And there's this pressure, I think, sometimes to perform happy, to just like it's the holidays, hi, and that's cool, right? And I think like in somatics, like this is just an
I'm hoping I
invitation
can
of,
go back and watch the replay and hear all the things you said because you froze on me.
oh no, okay.
That's
I'm just
okay,
talking to
though.
myself over here. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's okay because you're not, though, because I think there are people on the other end. I can't see that they're there, but I think that they are.
Yes, I see, Becky. Thank you. I'm grateful for you both too. There you go. So
I love
we
that. And I
have
know folks are catching the replay.
totally,
I
yeah.
don't know what the technology is telling us, but we are tenacious in the right way. Um, So come back tomorrow, folks.
Yes.
Tomorrow is specifically all about releasing negative emotions and patterns and channeling in what you want. I'm going to guide us through EFT tapping. I will explain a little bit about what EFT tapping actually is, why it works, why it matters, how we do it. And if we have time, I will even talk about what meridian points connect to what body part, because that's kind of cool.
Mm, yeah.
But I'm not sure if we'll have time for that. You might have to join me for Ask Me Anything office hours sometime if you want to know more about that. Um, but Rose, thank you. Gosh, that was so, so, so delightful. And I'm really grateful my internet didn't kick out when you were guiding us through the centering practice.
Yes. Yes. Technology was working for us in some ways today. And hopefully we'll get better and better. Yeah. As the week goes forward. So
It
um,
is what it is. And so we just roll with it.
we roll with it, right? And we've got our centering practice now. So nothing's going to stop us. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Heather. And thanks, everyone. It looks like 14 people are here today. So
Wow,
awesome.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully lots of people watch the replay. So thank you all. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time,
We'll
same
see you
place.
then. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.